Hello students. Next example is describe all ring homomorphisms of Z into Z. Describe all ring homomorphisms from Z into Z. So firstly, what is definition of homomorphism? If R and R dash are two rings, a map phi from R to R dash is said to be homomorphism if following two conditions are satisfied for all AB belongs to R. First condition is phi of A plus B is equal to phi plus phi B, and second is phi of A into B is equal to phi into phi B. Okay, if these two conditions are satisfied, then this map phi is said to be ring homomorphism. Now let us assume that phi from Z to Z is a ring homomorphism. Then for n belongs to Z, actually we have to find out this ring homomorphism. So to finding the ring homomorphism, we are assuming that this map phi is a ring homomorphism. So if this is a ring homomorphism, then for n belongs to this Z, phi of n. Now n is any integer, so phi of n can be written as phi of 1 plus 1 plus 1 up to n times. Okay, this 1 plus 1 up to n times. Now phi is homomorphism, therefore this can be written as phi 1 plus phi of 1 plus phi of 1 plus up to phi of 1 by this first condition of homomorphism. This is also n times, so it can be written as n into phi of 1. Let us give it equation 1. Now phi is completely determined by its value on 1. Now next we will find out what is phi of 1. Now 1 belongs to Z is idempotent element. We know what is idempotent element. If in a ring R, A square is equal to A, then A is said to be idempotent element. Now we know that 1 square is equal to 1, so 1 belongs to Z is idempotent element, and phi of 1 is idempotent. If the element is idempotent, then its map phi of 1 will be idempotent. So now from this equation 1, we get that phi of 1 is idempotent element. Now we will find out the idempotent elements of Z. Therefore it remains to find idempotent in Z, means we have to find out phi of 1. Now let x belongs to Z be idempotent. So as by definition, it is idempotent, x square is equal to x. So we can shift it x here. So taking x common, this product is 0, and we know that Z is integral domain, means it is without zero divisor. Product is 0 means either one of the element is 0. So x is 0 or x is equal to 1. Therefore only idempotents of Z are 0 and 1. Only idempotent 0 and 1 means what? This phi of 1 is equal to 0 and phi of 1 is equal to 1. Phi of 1 is idempotent, and we get two idempotents in Z, that is 0 and 1. So phi 1 is equal to 0 and phi of 1 is equal to 1. So case 1. So we will put this value phi of 1 is equal to 0 here. So what we get? N into phi of 1, that is 0, n into 0, 0. So phi of n is equal to 0. So we give the name to this map as phi 1 from Z to Z such that phi of n is equal to 0. It is a 0 homomorphism. And what will be the second case? Second case, phi of 1 is equal to 1. If we put phi of 1 is equal to 1, what we get? Phi of n is equal to n, that is identity homomorphism, that is second map. So this is a case 2, phi of 1 1. So phi of n is n into phi 1, that is n. So phi of Z to Z as phi of n is identity homomorphism. So finally means we get two homomorphisms. First is 0 homomorphism, phi 1 of n is 0, and another is phi 2 of n is equal to n. So related to it, another example is describe all ring homomorphism from Z cross Z to Z. So we know that from Z to Z there are two homomorphism, we just proved it. First is phi 1 Z to Z as phi 1 of n is 0, that is 0 homomorphism, and another is identity homomorphism. So using this fact, so phi 1 of Z cross Z, so there are three ring homomorphisms using the above example. So first is phi 1 of m cross n is equal to 0, which is called as 0 homomorphism using this phi 1. And using this phi 2, using identity homomorphism, we can define two maps, phi 2 of Z cross Z to Z as phi 2 of mn is equal to m. This m is fixed, and for another Third homomorphism, phi 3 of Z cross Z to Z as phi 3 of Mn is equal to N. So for Z cross Z to Z, there are 3 ring homomorphisms. Another example, give an example of a ring having two elements A and B such that A into B is 0 but neither A nor B is 0. So product 0 but neither of them is 0. So example for it is considering Z6 plus 6 cross 6. In Z6, 2 non-zero, 3 non-zero, but their product 2 into 3 which is 6 is 0 in Z6. Okay, both elements are non-zero but their product is 0. Or another example is, it is example related to matrix. In a ring M 2 cross 2 over Z, means entries from Z, A is equal to 1 0 0 0. This is non-zero matrix. 0 0 1 0, this is also non-zero matrix, but their product is 0. Okay. Now there is another example. Show that if U is a collection of all units in a ring R plus dot with unity, then U dot is a group. What is given? U is a collection of all units in this ring. This ring is given. What is unit? Unit means elements of a ring. Which elements? For that multiplicative inverse should exist. Okay. So U is a collection of all units. We have to show U with respect to multiplication is group. Okay. So in solution, what is U? U is equal to X such that X is a unit. What is our claim? We have to prove U is a group under multiplication. So first property, closure, then associativity, then identity, then multiplicative inverse. So first closure. For that, let us take two elements. X and Y belongs to U. So let XY belongs to U. We have to show X into Y belongs to U. As XY belongs to U means X and Y are units. X and Y are units means what? X inverse and Y inverse exists. Let us say X inverse is A, Y inverse is equal to B. So as X inverse is A, what we can write? XA is equal to 1 is equal to AX. As Y inverse exists and Y inverse is B, means we can write YB is equal to 1 is equal to BY. Let us give it equation 1. Now we have to prove XY belongs to U. Means what? What is U? U is a collection of units in R. Means we have to show that XY is a unit. Means what? Means we have to show that inverse of XY exists. That is, we have to prove XY inverse exists. So consider XY into BA and then BA into XY. If this product is 1, then we can say that BA is the inverse of XY and then we can claim that XY belongs to U. Now this XY into BA is X into YB into A by associativity. Now YB is equal to 1, so we get XA, and XA is equal to 1 using 1. So this product 1. Similarly for this product, this is by associativity. AX is 1 by 1, BY is also 1 by 1. So using these two, what we get? XY inverse is equal to BA, means inverse of XY exists, therefore XY belongs to U. Okay. Then associativity. Now what is U? U is a subset of R, because from R we are selecting the elements such that whose inverse exists and that we are taking in U. So U is a subset of R, and in R multiplication is associative, therefore multiplication is associative in U. Next, now existence of multiplicative identity. Now it is given that in example it is given that R is with unity. Okay, means 1 is present in R, and we know that every unity is a unit, means 1 is a unit, so 1 will be present in U. Therefore third property is also satisfied. Then fourth property multiplicative inverse. So multiplicative inverse of each element should exist. So let X belongs to U, we have to show its inverse must exist. As by definition X belongs to U means X is a unit, and automatically it means that its inverse exists. Therefore all the four properties of a group are satisfied. Therefore U is a group under multiplication. Okay. Now next example, show that a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b for all a and b in a ring R if and only if R is a commutative. Okay, this formula is true in a ring only if R is a commutative, otherwise not. So let R is a ring. Let us write down a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b. So this implies by distributive law, this can be left hand side as it is. This can be written as a into a minus b plus b into a minus b. Again, this can be written as a square minus ab plus ba minus b square. So by cancellation law, this a square, this minus b square will get cancelled. What remains? 0 is equal to minus ab plus ba, and this can be written as, this implies what? Shift this ab here, so ab is equal to ba. Ab is equal to ba means R is commutative. This is the one way. Conversely, we can write R, if R is commutative, then AB is equal to BA, and then each step can be calculated. Next example is, let R plus is an abelian group. Show that R plus dot is a ring if we define AB is equal to 0 for all AB belongs to R. So what is our claim? We have to show R plus dot is a ring. And what is given? R plus is abelian group. Means first condition of a ring is already given. So we have to prove that R plus dot is a ring. Means to prove R plus dot is a ring, what we need to show? We need to show that multiplication is associative and distributive laws hold. So first of all, what is given again? A into B is equal to 0. So here we define A into B is 0 for all AB belongs to R. Now to show associativity, for ABC belongs to R, A into B into C. Now what is, we assume for any two elements of a ring, their product is 0. Take any two elements of ring, we assume it is given that product 0. So AB belongs to R, their product is 0, so 0 into C is 0. And A into B into C, again this belongs to R, product 0, so A into 0, that is 0. So left hand side is equal to right hand side, that is associativity holds. Now for distributive laws. For left distributive law, what is left hand side? A into B plus C. Again, now this B and C are elements of R. R is a ring, means it is a group with respect to addition, means it is closer with respect to addition. So B plus C belongs to R, means A is the element of R, B plus C is the element of R, therefore by assumption their product is 0. And what about right hand side? Right hand side, A into B plus A into C. So these two are elements of R, product 0. These two elements of R, product 0. So finally we get 0. Means from 1 and 2, right hand side is same. So we get A into B plus C is equal to A into B plus A into C. Therefore left distributive law satisfied. Similarly, right distributive law is satisfied. Therefore we can say that R plus dot is a ring. Okay. Now next, there is one note that ring homomorphism implies group homomorphism, but converse is not true. Means if there is a ring homomorphism, means definitely there is a group homomorphism, but and similarly for isomorphism, but group isomorphism does not imply ring isomorphism. Now there is one example related to it. Example is, show that the rings 2Z and 3Z are not isomorphic. So in solution, starting is with 2Z, not isomorphic with 3Z. For if, means if we are considering these are isomorphic, then we get contradiction somewhere. Okay, so these two are not isomorphic. If these two are isomorphic, means if these two are ring isomorphic, then definitely that will be group isomorphic. But these 2Z and 3Z are cyclic groups. Now these two are cyclic groups. Generators of 2Z are 2 and minus 2. Therefore if we construct a map phi from 2Z to 3Z, if this is a homomorphism, then phi of 2 and phi of minus 2 must be generator of 3Z. But which are generators of 3Z? Generators of 3Z are 3 and minus 3. So Now if we considering phi of 2 is equal to 3, then what happen? Then phi of 4 is, it can be written as phi of 2 plus 2. By homomorphism it is phi of 2 plus phi of 2, and phi of 2 is 3, so it is 3 plus 3, 6 in 3z. And for multiplicative property, phi of 4 is equal to phi of 2 into 2, that is phi 2 into phi 2, that is 3 into 3, which is 9 in 3z. Means here we get phi 4 is 6, here we get phi 4 9, both are not equal, therefore phi of 2 is equal to 3 is not true. Similarly, if we are considering that phi of 2 is equal to another generator minus 3, 8, we get contradiction. So similarly, phi of 2 means in previous phi of 4 does not have unique answer, so phi of 2 is equal to 3 is absurd. Similarly, phi of 2 is equal to minus 3. If we take it, then we get absurd result. Therefore, 2z is not isomorphic to 3z, because if we are considering isomorphism, then we are getting contradiction. Next example. Now first definition of nilpotent element. We already have seen it. An element A of a ring R is nilpotent if A raised to n is 0 for some n belongs to Z plus. Show that if A and B are nilpotent elements of a commutative ring, then A plus B is also nilpotent. So in solution, what is given? A and B are nilpotent elements, means what? A raised to n is 0 and B raised to n is 0 for some n belongs to Z plus. It is given. Okay. Now we have to show that A plus B is nilpotent, means what? We have to show A plus B raised to n is equal to 0 for some n belongs to Z plus, that is n belongs to natural number or positive integer. So by binomial expansion, A plus B raised to n is A raised to n plus n, A raised to n minus 1b plus nc2, that is n square minus n upon 2 factorial, A raised to n minus 2, b square plus dot 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 plus b raised to n. Here let us take A raised to n common, so in bracket there will be 1 plus n divided by A raised to n, so there remain A raised to minus 1, that we can write as 1 upon a, this b as it is. Similarly here, n square minus n, b square upon 2 a square plus up to b raised to n upon a raised to n. Now a raised to n is 0 from 1 because a is nilpotent element, so 0 into this bracket, so we get 0, means we get a plus b raised to n is 0, means a plus b is also nilpotent element. Okay. Now next is example that show that an intersection of subrings of R is again a subring of R. So before that there is one definition of a subring, that is a subset S of a ring R gives a subring of R if and only if the following holds. If R is any ring, S is a subset of R, then S is said to be subring of R if following three conditions satisfied. First is 0 belongs to S. Second is for all AB belongs to S, A minus B belongs to S. And third is for all AB belongs to S, A into B belongs to S. If these three properties for a subset S of R are satisfied, then we say that S is a subring of R. First, 0 belongs to S, subtraction belongs to S for any two elements of S, and multiplication belongs to S for any two elements of S. Now what is our example? Our example is intersection of two subrings of R is again a subring of R. So in solution, let S1 and S2 are two subrings of ring R. What is our claim? S1 intersection S2 is a subring of R. Now first, as S1 is a subring, 0 belongs to S1. As S2 is a subring, 0 belongs to S2. Means 0 belongs to S1 intersection S2, as it belongs to both. Okay. Now let us take A and B, two elements belongs to S1 intersection S2. What is our claim? Now we will prove that, we have to show that A minus B belongs to S1 intersection S2 and their product A into B belongs to S1 intersection S2. Now A belongs to S1 intersection S2, means A belongs to S1, A belongs to S2. B belongs to intersection means B belongs to both of this set. Now this A and B both are belongs to S1, AB belongs to S1 and S1 is a subring, it is given. So by condition of subring, we can write A minus B belongs to S1 and A into B belongs to S1, because A and B both belongs to S1, S1 is a subring. So A minus B belongs to S1, AB belongs to S1. Similarly, A and B both belongs to S2, S2 is a subring, so A minus B belongs to S2 and their product belongs to S2. So from this 1 and 2, now look here, A minus B belongs to S1, A minus B belongs to S2, means A minus B belongs to their intersection. Similarly, A into B belongs to S1 and A into B belongs to S2, therefore this product belongs to S1 intersection S2. Both conditions are satisfied. Therefore, we say that S1 intersection S2 is a subring of R. But what about union? Union of two subrings need not be a subring. For example, S1 is 2Z, S3, and suppose S1 is 2Z and S2 is 3Z. Both are subrings of R, but their union is not a subring. Why this is so? Because 2 belongs to S1 intersection S2. Why? Because 2 belongs to S1. 3 belongs to S1 union. 2 belongs to S1 union S2 because 2 belongs to S1. 3 belongs to S1 union S2 because 3 belongs to S2. Therefore, it belongs to this union. But what about their subtraction? 2 minus 3 is minus 1. That is definitely not belongs to S1 union S2, because S1 is 0 plus minus 2 plus minus 4 and S2 is 0 plus minus 3 plus minus 6 dot dot dot. So subtraction of two elements not belongs to the set. Therefore, this S1 union S2 is not a subring of R. Therefore, we are written here 2Z union 3Z. Both are subrings, but their union is not a subring of R. Okay, let's stop here. Thank you.